But can we show them the strategy?
I think before we do that, I think it's worth just touching on, so there's a fundamental understanding, if everyone can hear me appropriately, on what a decentralized stablecoin is. So this is an important part of the ecosystem. So we have centralized and decentralized stablecoins. A centralized stablecoin is going to be something like USDT or USDC. And these stablecoins are managed by centralized entities by a company that controls the issuance of the stablecoin itself. So they have control over the smart contracts, and their company essentially says this token is backed by, or supposedly backed by, $1 of fiat or like same assets to fiat, regular dollars that we keep in our bank account. And we attest to the fact that we have $1 of assets in our bank account for every dollar of stable coins that we have issued, and they are redeemable for those dollars. Now, a decentralized stablecoin works in one of two manners, either an over collateralized or under collateralized, partially collateralized stablecoin. And the idea there is that there's a single crypto asset or a basket of crypto assets which are held in a contract that allows the minting of a coin, of a token that is pegged to the price of $1 and has an amount of crypto assets backing it that can be liquidated for sale in the event that that stable coin falls below the peg of a US dollar. So decentralized stable coins include things like MIM, Magic Internet Money, DAI, which is minted from the MakerDAO. Also includes UST, which is minted from the Terra Luna protocol, right?
Frax too, I want to mention Frax.
Yeah, and Frax, which is one of those. So all of the first three we mentioned are over collateralized stable coins, and Frax is the first attempt at a partially collateralized stable coin where the price is algorithmically controlled and only partially backed by crypto assets. So mirroring something like a fractional reserve system that exists with traditional fiat. So now there's like a framework for understanding that we're now going into the world of decentralized stable coins, which are protocol governed. They are controlled by code and not by a centralized authority or institution that monitors or controls their issuance or inflation. Their issuance and inflation is governed by specific algorithmic ratios of collateral assets in a programmatic smart contract that determines how much of that token can be issued and how much of it is taken out of issuance or out of circulation to maintain the price peg of the decentralized stablecoin. So,
great.
That was a mouthful.
Change your network. Can you get on the 2.4 gigahertz one? We're changing network again, guys. Yeah, that one. October says, who creates the code for protocols?
So the code for protocols, it's written primarily by the code itself is written by developers, either in the Ethereum blockchain environment, developing on what we call the Ethereum virtual machine in a programming language called Solidity, or in the Cosmos IBC, building in a smart contract language called CosmWasm, which is written primarily in Go or Rust, which are different programming languages that allow the assembly and compiling of CosmWasm scripts. So these programs essentially are automated contracts in the same way that we could make a contract with each other and say, if you give me 2 oranges, I'm going to give you an apple. These programmatic smart contracts can say, if the sender of a message gives the contract set X, perform function Y with said asset. So these programs are written and they are immutable and live on the decentralized virtual machine.
Are you streaming?
Oh.
Or no?
Whoops.
Yeah, we're restarting the stream. So one cool thing about DeFi too, that if you're new around here, you might not know, is that who are the developers or who creates the code? The difference with DeFi and with what you think of as like big tech, like the programs you use all the time, like Instagram, Facebook, that kind of stuff, is there is no single company or single institution behind DeFi. It can literally be anyone, anywhere in the world who knows how to code can make something in DeFi. So all the things that we show you on these webinars, pretty much they're all by different teams or individuals all over the world. So in participating in DeFi, you're actually plugging into a global, decentralized, permissionless network with millions of people in it who all can create and add things just as they feel and as they want to create. So if you're a creative person or just for developers who love to build, this is a super exciting ecosystem to be a part of because it's always changing.
And it's important to note that it's the environment is open source, which means that, unlike something like Windows or Microsoft Word, where you can't view the actual source code, every smart contract is publicly auditable and you can view the actual code base, which means that developers can collaborate in an open source fashion to explore, innovate, and improve on code bases. So each line of code that's written adds to the total global repository of code, and those functions can be adapted and added to one another to create new and improved functionality. So that's why we see an extremely rapid pace of development, is because of this open source sandbox of code, and why we can watch a protocol launch and 2 days after launch, provided that the source code has been audited and the community of developers believe that that source code is secure and relatively secure against exploitation, that we could see a protocol receive billions of dollars of liquidity in mere hours sometimes. So I think now is a good time to just like step into the actual strategy. It's a lot of fundamental sort of layer zero understanding of what's occurring.
I think we need to explain what mirror is, because this is like a multi-step kind of.
Yeah. Let's get into mirror, because I think that mirror is actually probably one of the deepest and greatest utilities that's been enabled by decentralized finance, especially for non-US citizens. So what Mirror Protocol is a protocol that allows the deposits of collateral to mint synthetic assets. And a synthetic asset is an asset that is pegged to the price of another asset. So just like we talked about decentralized stablecoins, these actually are also decentralized stablecoins, but they are stable not to the price of the US dollar, but to the price of another asset or equity. So Mirror allows people who are not US citizens to mint or trade a decentralized synthetic asset which mirrors the price of a stock, equity, or commodity. And so assets that you'll see available on Mirror are things like M Apple, M Google, M Tesla, oil, right?
Yeah.
We've got oil,
US
oil as one of the assets. So, and what's important about that is stock markets, in terms of being able to day trade or be a high frequency trader and scalp the stock market, have financial fiduciary requirements. So if you are a US citizen, if you're not a US citizen, it can be difficult to even access these marketplaces with your liquidity. If you are a US citizen, you have to be a qualified investor, which means you have to be able to deposit at least $25,000 with your brokerage, or you have to trade some type of fractionalized brokerage platform like Robinhood, or what's another one of these platforms
that people use. I don't even know, because they front run your orders, which means they sell your order flow to someone who then gets to see how much the aggregate total people are buying is and buy in front of them, meaning you pay a premium for every position that you take. And this allows people to trade with these low transaction fees, even an extremely low fraction of a dollar in terms of these assets. So